Could you talk about the idea behind the part of Atlantis? Is there a name for it that instigated its demise?
There is a name for it. However, right now we are unable to share it. However, in many ways, it is representative of the idea of the collective consciousness of multiple civilizations that were expressing themselves through the Atlantean theme, that had gone through the idea of a shift away from the more natural way of living. The idea is that collective consciousness is a collective consciousness that you can observe in terms of its energy on other worlds, as well as in your contemporary versions of your society. Many of you can very easily begin to pinpoint where some of those things are occurring within your collective. And that then gives you more information on the idea of the Atlantean theme playing out in the here and now.
Does that have anything to do with the mass shootings?
It slightly has to do with it, in of the sense that it represents the idea of an individual being disconnected, or rather creating the experience of disconnection. And the idea is they then feel they must validate themselves through some kind of misaligned action that then gains public attention, because to them that represents the idea of validity. But you could say that the inspiration for such an action comes from a misalignment with the natural self. So you could say in that sense that there is a connection, but largely speaking, many of those collectives that represent the deviation from a natural way of life relevant to the Atlantean civilizations largely play out through the idea of technologies for many of you. With that being said, many of you are beginning to witness that those who are developing technologies are having a shift in consciousness, working to, in that way, reduce the idea of pollution, working in that way to create technologies that assist humans. And this represents the idea of those Atlantean energies integrating, and not in that way plummeting the society into chaos, but rather using the energies of spirit, using the energies of the natural world to then create technologies that are in harmony with that of nature.
How can we, now that it's colder in many areas, how can we kind of keep the level of excitement for when it was more comfortable for our bodies to go outside? To go outside when it's cold, it doesn't seem as exciting to me.
Do you remember when you were a child?
Some aspects of that, yeah.
When you were a child, did you enjoy to play in the snow?
Yes.
There is your answer.
Okay.
There is your answer. Many of you have collective beliefs that relate to the idea of snow and cold being a negative thing, being a limiting thing. And that is valid. That is all well and good, but understand that's a perception you bought into, for whatever reason, as the aging process continued. And when you tune back into your remembrance of when you were a child, and you didn't really care that it was snowing, you actually got excited about it, it allows for you to, again, tap into that energy so you can invoke your child self and then be more enthusiastic with your relationship with the cold and with the snow. So the short answer is have more fun with it. Utilize it in the most exciting way.